Yeah, this is recording. Let's quickly jump to the demo. I'm just sharing my screen. So, so, so we are here for the OmniStudio demo. So first of all, I'll discuss what is OmniStudio, or some people may call it Velocity. So I'll discuss what is Velocity or what is OmniStudio, and I will be showing course content. I will be showing few articles why you need to take this course. So that I will be showing, and after everything I have shown, you can ask the questions if you want at the end of the session. Okay, let's get started. So what is velocity? First, we will understand what is velocity. What is velocity? So velocity founded in 2014, long back, right? 2014. So as when it's founded, it used to be available as a managed package in the Salesforce. So after few years, Salesforce industry recognized its important, and after few years, it won many awards. For example, Forbes Cloud 100 awards in 2017, 18, 19, consecutive 3 years. So that means industry recognized its importance. So so in 2022, as it's recognized velocity importance, Salesforce acquired Velocity. So now also it is available as a managed package, but it is acquired by Salesforce completely. And as a result of the transaction, what happened? Salesforce was able to add industry-specific CRMs. There are many industries in the Salesforce, right? Whereas communication industries, media, entertainment, insurance, health, so many industries. So the benefit Salesforce is getting is industry specific CRMs which are provided by Velocity that they can add on top of the Salesforce industry specific CRMs. As a result, uh, you can see the great UI on the screen, and there are some pre-built applications which is provided by the Velocity that also we can use. So theoretically this is that, and I will be showing how it will be helpful with the help of few screenshots. And as I said, Velocity is a managed package. It offers a pre-built solutions on the Salesforce platform. Pre-built means, for example, some data raptors where you need to configure the data raptor without any coding, so it will fetch the data. It will provide some pre-built objects. It will provide some pre-built functionalities like where you can configure some order management, or you can do an HTTP API call, or you can post in the chatter. So that will be done without any coding. So everything is pre-built in the Velocity, so that can be done, and that requires CRMs to be heavily customized beyond Salesforce in the out of the box state. So this we are good. So there are, as I said, there are many industries in the Salesforce: communication, media, energy and utilities, insurance, health, government. So whatever the industry you are working in, let's say your project is on insurance, so there is also a scope of using Velocity. So when I say Velocity, consider it as OmniStudio. Both are same. OmniStudio and Velocity both are same. When Salesforce acquired Velocity recently, maybe one and a half year back, I believe, they changed the name to OmniStudio. Okay, this is a high level, just a high level background about the Velocity. Or why OmniStudio? Both are same. Why OmniStudio? Why industries are preferring OmniStudio? Why companies are preferring OmniStudio? Let's understand. OmniStudio provides us a drag and drop based tool. So for example, if you want to build a UA, let's say a tabular format you want to build through LWC. So you need to have specific set of skills. You need to have you need to know HTML, you need to know CSS, you need to know JavaScript to build some logics. So, but when you use Omni Studio, it will hardly take 10 minutes to build a great UI. Let's say in our case, it is a table. It will take hardly 10 minutes just by dragging and dropping, where there is no use of code, where we want any code, zero code, I can say. And that helps to create business specific flows with just clicks instead of creating custom codes. So what we are doing here, we are completely avoiding the code. So I will show that how it will work also. So it is an on-demand tool. I believe many of you are working professionals, so you might know it is an on-demand tool. That is the reason companies are preferring OmniStudio. Why it is Omni on-demand tool? One is drag and drop based tool where we are avoiding completely to create the custom code, and there are few more advantages or applications that we will be seeing. And it can this we covered build a great UI by drag and drop. Reusable components. This is very important. Let's say there is a data raptor. By the way, data raptor is deals with data, maybe to fetch the data, to load the data. Load the data means to create the records in the Salesforce by using some data raptors. So let's say I created a data raptor. That data raptor I can use in multiple components. Let's say I can use the same data raptor in FlexCard, same data raptor in Omni Scripts, same data raptor in integration procedures, condition supply. That what are the conditions we are seeing in the upcoming sessions. So the point here I'm trying to make is reusable components. No need to create multiple components every time when there is a similar kind of requirement. So it saves times basically, and it can communicate with LWC and Apex. Let's say I have built a screen where I want to show a LWC component. So that I can do, and I can call an Apex class by using OmniStudio components. Let's say in our case there is something called remote action. By using that, I can call the Apex class, and by that I get that data. So it can communicate with LWC and Apex, vice versa also. Two-way it will be possible. This is also a main advantage why industry is using OmniStudio. Saves time and resource for the organization. This is also very important. Companies always try to save time so that they can go live faster. They can go to the production faster. And resources of the organization. Let's say if you want to build a multi-screen, let's take a basic example, multi-screen application form where it's having 5 to 10 screens, where user needs to enter his details in the first screen, second screen, educational details in the third screen, some other details, fourth screen, some background details. So if I want to build the same UI with multi-screen functionality, so it will take at least 7 days to 10 days via LWC code, and again you need to have a separate skills. But with the Omni Studio, I can do that in 1 day, only 1 day. So that means it's saving time. Resource for the organization means I need no need of hiring 2 3 people who knows LWC. One people can do same work who will be doing uh, via LWC. 3 people can be replaced by 1 people when that person is using Omni Studio. So that is the main advantage. So I will be showing some pictures also. You will be understanding then. Let's go to the next screen. Career paths. Why you need to learn Omni Studio? We will understand. So if you learn Omni Studio, right now you might be working in Salesforce. So you have two career paths. Let's understand basic career paths. As an admin, you can sustain your career, or a developer, you can sustain your career. Being a developer, you need to know Apex, LWC, and in some cases Aura components you need to know. But when you learn Omni Studio, there are two additional career paths. So two additional career paths means indirectly more exposure to the market. If companies are looking for who knows Omni Studio development, so there are few people available in the market. So they will directly pick you. So that is one advantage. When there is more exposure, the chances of hiring is very high. The chances of hiring is very high. Chances of hiring is very high means indirectly we can demand more pay. That is what we are expecting to grow our career. So indirectly more pay you will get. So what are the two career paths? You can become Omni Studio developer. Developer you can become along with Salesforce. For example, I am a Salesforce developer. I am a Omni Studio developer. If I want to shift the company, I can join as a Salesforce developer, or otherwise there are many companies. One of the big hiring companies, Accenture, which hires purely Omni Studio developers. I can join as a Salesforce developer. I can join as a Omni Studio developer, and there are some companies who are expecting Salesforce developer plus a Velocity developer. So in those companies also I can join. The preference will be more when I join. So indirectly I'll get more pay when compared to the other people. And you can also become a OmniStudio consultant. If you don't know what is consultant, who works with the clients to understand the business requirement, to understand the logics. So how can we do that via OmniStudio? That all they will understand, consultants, and they'll pass the information to the developers in the Scrum calls. There is a separate flow for that. That is not important. So you can become an OmniStudio consultant. So when you become OmniStudio developer, no need of coding. When you become OmniStudio consultant, no need to learn coding. So both are code free. And certifications. These two all OmniStudio or Salesforce provided certifications where you can do certification. One is certified OmniStudio developer, one is certified OmniStudio consultants. So who will do OmniStudio developer certification means who are working in the projects. So who will do consultant means who will work with clients to understand their business requirement. So these are two certifications, two additional career paths we will be getting, more exposure to the market, and chances of hiring is great. So you can have uh, multiple companies in hand when you are trying to switch the company. So let me go to the next slide. This is There is something called a flex card in the Omni Studio. This is the example of that flex card. Flex card is nothing but a card which can show some information at a glance. So here if you are seeing, let's say this is a contact for timing. So I am seeing a contact name with his address here, and you can observe there is a css added. Css means where you can add some styling, some text is increased here. Let me take laser point. Yeah, text is increased, the font size is more, and this text is little lighter. And there is a small card placed here which is highlighted in blue color, and there is some information here. So whatever the contact you open, so that live current weather I can see here by hitting some external API. So what? Let's say my local time is 11 a.m. I'll get the current weather. Let's say my local time is 1 p.m. I'll get the current weather. So live updates I will be seeing on the flex card by hitting some third-party API. And similarly, we have some buttons here. So let's click on daughter button. So I will be seeing information of this daughter. If I click on stepson, I will be seeing information of stepson. And similarly, there are few more options. In each button will have an individual task assigned. And if I click on update address, so I can update this address. A new flyout will be called where I can edit the address, and on clicking on save, a new address or the updated address you can see on the flex card. Similarly, there are few more options. So, so now think of it. If you want to build same kind of UI where you need to fetch the information from the Salesforce database, show the information on the screen. On clicking on some buttons, I need to see some pop-ups opened, and on clicking of this button, I need to uh, get some uh, get some window where I can fill some details and click on save, and it should write to the Salesforce database. So now imagine how much time it will take when you do the same requirement via LWC. So it will take a lot of time, right? But what if I say you with the flex card, I can complete this in hardly 3 to 4 hours. So that is our point. It saves lot of energy, lot of resources. Configuration is very easy. So lot of advantages are there. Let's go to, there are many things we can do via flex card. This is very basic example. Since we are very beginners to the Omni Studio, I'm taking only basic example so that you can understand. Let me go to the next slide. There is something called Omni Script in the Omni Studio where you can build multiple screens. If you see here, 1 2 3, each dot represents each screen. Let's say if you fill some details and click on next, so it is taking to me the other screen from your coverage to damage screen. So there are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 to 8 screens roughly were there, and these screens are dynamic. So for example, here they have asking a question to the user, you would like to file a claim. If I click yes and click on next, the damage screen will be displayed. If I click no and click on next, the screen will be not displayed. The other screen will be displayed, which we are assigned to no button. So that simple it is. And again, OmniScript can do a lot of stuff This is very basic example, very beginner level example. So you can, the point is you can build a multi-level screen for your business flows. For example, if you want to uh, create a contact via Omni Script, you can build multi-step business flow for the contact where user can fill some information in each step. So each step will be displayed based on the user entered information, and on clicking on finish or on clicking on save, a contact will be created in the backend. So that means we are basically overriding the Salesforce out of the box functionality, which is new button to create a contact. We can override that with the Omni Script. So this is one of the example, and I have reference links. Let me go back. So I said previously, if you remember, I said OmniStudio is completely no code, and or you can say low code. And to prove that point, I have an article. This article is not a private article. Salesforce provided. This is Salesforce website. Salesforce provided article where I can see a name called Parker Harris. Let's search who is he. Yeah. See here, Parker Harris is a co-founder and CTO of Salesforce. Here you can see here also the LinkedIn experience chief technology officer Salesforce from 1992, 24 years. He's a co-founder. He's a CTO. Very big role, right, in the Salesforce. So what he said is this article is published in 2021. Remember, OmniStudio is acquired by Salesforce in 2022. Sorry, 2020. So what he said is, just because it is possible to write code doesn't mean you should write code. So that means there is a great possibility of writing the code in LWC where we can see a great UI, great user experience we can show by writing a lot of code in LWC. But what this guy CTO is saying is there is a possibility in LWC, but doesn't mean you should write code. You always prefer to build any application or any functionality with the out of the box functionalities provided by Salesforce or OmniStudio. So Salesforce itself is recommending to avoid coding, only build anything, try to build anything with the out of the box functionalities provided by Salesforce or OmniStudio. In very odd cases, if there is very specific requirement to the client, then only go for coding. And that we can, for example, we have built some flex card in Omni Studio. If there is any odd scenario where I cannot build via Omni Studio, at that time I can take the help of LWC, build a small code in the LWC, and I can drag and drop that particular LWC component within the flex card or within the Omni script so that they can communicate each other. So that is also possible. So point here I'm trying to make is always try to avoid coding and build anything with the Salesforce provided out of the box functionalities as suggested by Salesforce CTO. Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. I'm just going to mute. Okay, that's okay. So and there is one more reference link which is provided by Salesforce Ben. Salesforce Ben. Salesforce Ben is a very famous website. If you are referring some articles, you might know Salesforce Ben website. I believe they also have a YouTube channel. So this, let's see when this is published. This is published on 26th July 2023. So that means hardly 3 weeks ago. So right now we are on 14th, right? 26th July. Yeah, this is the date. So hardly 3 weeks ago. So this is a very big article. I'm not going line by line. Let's understand high level. So what they're saying. So what they are saying is, what are Salesforce industries? So as I said, there are many Salesforce industries, right? Media cloud, health cloud, energy, utilities. If you want to work with any of the Salesforce industry, you need to have some knowledge or you need to be skilled in the OmniStudio. That is what they are telling. I'll send this link. You can read it when you have time. I'll just quickly jump down. See, this is very important. Key skills required for the Salesforce industries. So here some examples they have given: different clouds, different Salesforce industries, communication cloud, media cloud, energy and utilities, health cloud, automatic cloud, and there are few more. Uh, to work with any one of the cloud, so what is the key skill you need? Key skill you need is OmniStudio. You can see here everything is checkboxed. So to grow in your career, you need to learn OmniStudio so that you can build a great career. Let me go down. Again, there are a lot of information. I'm not covering everything. Let me go down. Yeah. Salesforce Industries Learning Pathway. This is not advised from this article, Salesforce Bennett a suggestion. This is a suggestion from Senior Director of the Salesforce Industries. What they are suggesting is to have a great career path, first you need to know Salesforce basics, which is nothing but admin. And then you need to learn Salesforce SFI. Salesforce SFI is nothing but Salesforce Industries. And to start with that, you always need to learn OmniStudio. And after learning OmniStudio, depends upon project, you will be learning some EPC, industry CPQ, order management, digital commerce, and these technical skills are mostly industry based. So whatever the project you are placing in, so one or two additional components you will be seeing adding in the OmniStudio. But the primary point is always you'll start with OmniStudio. So by now you might understand what is OmniStudio on very high level, and maybe in first or second sessions we will cover little more details. I'm not digging into details since it's just a demo session. Let me go back. We'll understand the course content first. What is the course content? Yeah. So I have divided my course content into few modules. So the first module is Introduction to OmniStudio and JSON structure. The first module is uh, mostly theoretical. I can say some 50% theoretical and 50% practical. So we will understand, this is on day one session. We will understand what is OmniStudio, how Salesforce is working with OmniStudio, and what are the advantages Salesforce is getting when it is using OmniStudio. That we will be covering. And futures, what are the futures available in the OmniStudio? Targeted industries, almost every industry use Salesforce, but we will be looking what are the targeted industries. We will try to understand what is the OmniStudio architecture, the backend architecture, how it is being divided into different layers. Let's say for example there is experience layer, so that kind of layers we will be discussing here. And certifications in OmniStudio, I will be guiding what are the certification. I think I'll show it today itself in detail. And JSON structure, this is very important. This is not theoretical, this is practical. JSON structure is prerequisite to start with OmniStudio. There is no other prerequisite, only prerequisite is JSON structure. I think many of you know what is JSON structure. This is very easy, it will hardly take 10 to 15 minutes to understand. But I want to cover JSON structure as well, because if you don't understand JSON structure, you will be not understanding any topic in the OmniStudio course. That is the reason I have added an additional content course, which is JSON structure. We will be seeing in detail JSON structure. You might know some JSON structures which we will be using in Salesforce to hit some third-party applications, right? Both are same, but the naming conventions is different. There are many naming conventions when we use in OmniStudio. Some might be referring it as path, some might be referring as root node, sub node, child node, subpath, parent node. So there are many nodes. So how to trim the JSON. So these kind of things we will be covering in JSON structure. And there is something called OmniStudio components. So all components, I will give some high level overview here, and naming conventions. To create each component, for example, if I want to create an integration procedure, so OmniStudio recommended a way to give name to that integration procedure. So each component So OmniStudio is suggesting one unique name in certain format. So that also I will be showing in module 1. This is module 1. Let's go to module 2. So module 2 is data raptors. So I will be showing how to create a data raptor in the first glance overview. In the overview, I'll show how the developer, while developing the data raptors, how that UI will be looking, each component and its advantage of, are I'm explaining them, and types of data raptors we will be seeing, where extract data raptor, load data raptor, transform data raptor, turbo extract data raptor. These are the different types of data raptors available. We will be covering each data raptor in detail. I would like to spend more time here because data raptors are used everywhere. Data raptors can be used in integration procedures. Data raptor can be used in Omni scripts. Data raptor can be used in FlexCard. So I will be covering every data raptor in detail. If you don't know what is data raptor basically deals with the data, where it can extract the data, where it can save some records to the Salesforce by using some load data raptors. So this is just a high level overview. We will be covering in detail. And there is something called formulas in data raptor, security in data raptor, that also I will be covering. Best practices and debugging. So what are the best practices while you are working with data raptors, while you are creating different data raptors, and how to debug when you have an issue in your project. All real-time scenarios I will be showing in the data raptors. And the third module is integration procedures. Integration is procedures is also similar to data raptors. It also deals with data, but the only additional advantage is it can it can process more number of steps. It can process more data in multiple steps. For example, if I want to hit some third party application, some third party API, I can use integration procedure. If I want to delete some records in the Salesforce, I can use integration procedures. If I want to post some information in the Salesforce chatter, I can use data raptors. So many advantages. I'm not going in deep. Give me 1 minute. 1 minute. So sorry, yeah, I'm in mute. Let's continue. So integration procedure, right? So I will be showing how to create an integration procedure. What are the best naming conventions you need to give to the integration procedure? So while developing the integration procedure, what are the different options, how the UI looks, I will be showing in the overview. So the difference between data raptor and integration procedure, when to use data raptor, when to use integration procedure, everything I will be covering. Data binding, integration procedure action. There are many actions actually. So I will be showing each action. So each action represents one task. Let's say if I pull some chatter action, so that will do, it will post some information in the chatter. If I drag and drop it some HTTP action, so it can hit the third party API. So that kind of actions will be there. There are more actions, I will be covering them. And we have something called formulas. Lot of formulas were there similar to data raptors. I will be covering them. Conditional rendering. So based on the condition, how to deal with the data, JSON data means. And what are the best practices, what are the how to debug when we have an issue. How to debug, for example, there is already an existing integration procedure in your higher org which is getting some error. So how to bring that to your developer org, how to debug it, how to fix it, everything I will be covering in each module individually. Let's go to fourth module, which is flex cards. Very important. Majority of the times flex cards and omni scripts will be using in your projects. Similar overview I will be covering. Fields, how to display some fields information on the flex cards. There are some display components, for example toggle buttons, some table if I want to display on flex card. There are a lot actually, some icons, how to display some icons on the flex card. So how to, there are a lot. So I'll be showing them each and everything. I will be covering inputs. If I want to enter some information, let's say there is a field called enter your name, I want to enter. There is a field called enter your date of birth, I want to enter in the date time format. So at that time we will use inputs. So there are a lot of inputs available. How to use them, how to drag and drop on the flexcard canvas, how to configure it, I'll be showing everything. So display records in cards with various data sources. There are many data sources, data raptors, SOQL queries, integration procedures, Apex classes. So mainly we will use these only. There are few more data raptors, data sources also. How to fetch the data and show it on the flex card, that I will be covering. Actions, there are many actions. Actions means, let's say, to put it very short, let's say a button. I'll be showing some button. On clicking of that button, I'll be assigning some task to that button. Let's say on clicking on that button, show some additional information. So on clicking on that button, refresh the page. On clicking on that button, call some Omni Script. So these kind of tasks will be there in the actions. So that I will be showing, and everything is real time, which we will be using in our day-to-day life projects. Display LWC components in flex card. There is a flex card. I want to display some information via LWC component. So that means the communication via LWC component flex card. Even if you don't know uh, the coding of the LWC component, I'll take a basic example and I'll show the data binding or communication from LWC component to flex card. I can help you with that. And flex card in flex card. So there are two flex card. I want to show one flex card in other flex card with the help of child flex cards. I can also do that. And again, best practices. What are the best practices we will be following in our projects, real-time projects? And this is something called odd. CSS means some styling, right? CSS, we will not write code in the flex card generally, but you need to understand some terms in the CSS. For example, padding, borders, height in pixels, height in some rem, and there are some words I'm not trying to recollect. So these are main padding, how to give padding, what is padding basically, what is borders. So that kind of things I will be covering on demand only. If you don't have any knowledge on that one, I will be covering that as well, because CSS is very widely used in. CSS means not a code, drag and drop only, but you need to understand some terms, hardly 5 to 6 terms. So I will be covering how it will work. I will be covering, if you on demand only, if you wish I will cover. If you all already know the information, I will be skipping. So I will be happy to cover this also. So this is flex cards. Let me go to OmniScripts. OmniScript is a guided flow, which I have shown some example, right, where it's multi-step screen. So again, same overview, actions, display components, a lot of functions in the OmniScripts, functions, edit blocks, inputs, OmniScript launching. How to launch a OmniScript? So on clicking on button, I want to launch an OmniScript. So what are the different ways of launching OmniScript? How to launch OmniScript? That also, there are a lot of options in the OmniScript. So I will be covering every option. And we have something called OmniScript data flow with flex cards. So for example, I want to, this is a multi-step screen, right? In one of the step, I want to show the flex card. That is possible. If one of the step, I want to show LWC component, that is possible. And one more important thing is, this is very important. Uh, I will show where you can build a functionality such that you will be covering flex cards, data raptors, integration procedures, LWC components in a single flow, so that you can understand the data flow also, how to communicate every component in single OmniScript. And also debugging Veronet. There is something called action debugger in the OmniScript. By using that, which data raptor is calling, which data raptor is not calling, that we are seeing. OmniScript is such that where we will use data raptors, integration procedures, LWC components, flex cards in single place. So for that, you need to understand the communication between the components and debugging also. So that I will be covering here, and best practices as usual. Let me go to the next module. There is something called expression set and decision matrices. Uh, this is not that widely used in our projects, but I am covering in the high level overview. The reason I'll tell you, just park it for time being. I'll come back to this topic again. Let's go to module 7, which is additional content. So I will be providing some additional content. For example, project orientation. Whatever the topics we are covering in our sessions, everything will be in project oriented only. All real time scenarios we will be covering. And what, for example, there are few components where we are using in our projects in day-to-day life. So in that components I will be spending more time. So whatever is needed. So on that I will be spending little more time. So our course is like everything is project oriented, and in addition to that, it's also a certification oriented also on top of that. But main preference is project oriented only. So project oriented means, as I said, in our project, let's say, let's take a real time example where you need to create an Omni script to fetch the information. You need to use the data raptors and show it on the Omni script page. And from that, you need to call an flex card. And from that flex card, you need to call Omni script again. And from Omni script, you need to call LWC. And after that, you need to save the data. So these kind of flows will be there. I'll take some real-time project scenario and I will be showing everything by doing some configuration. This is very important. I will be covering this in additional content. Best practices, as I said, we will be covering in each and every topic individually. Once the course is completed, how to export, import uh, manually, I mean deployment manually, OmniStudio components, how to follow best practices, everything I will be covering. Common errors, what as we are working in some real-time project, I am also a working professional. I know what are the common errors we are getting in our projects daily. So I will be covering them so that when you are working with your projects, you will understand what are the common errors, so that no need of spending a lot of time to fix that errors. In very short time you can know, since we are covering debugging also, you can debug and fix that errors ASAP as soon as possible. MCQ, multiple choice questions after every topic. So let's say today I completed data raptors. So at end of that, I will be showing some multiple questions which I will be picking from certifications or some trailheads or some internet articles, and I'll be showing that questions so that you will understand the understanding level of you. Based on that, you can spend more time on preparing if required. Practice exercises, this is very important. Let's say today I completed a data raptor extract, so I will be giving one practice exercise so that you can try it in your home. And when in the next session I will be showing that again, so that if you are getting any mistakes while creating or configuring that, you can understand, you can work on your mistakes again. So practice exercises will be showing after every module or every topic. Training or for practice, this is also very important. So I'm covering sessions, and to practice that you need a training arc with installed Omni Studio version, right? So for that I will be guiding how to get the training arc, so that I will be guiding, which has lifetime access, where you can practice whatever the sessions I am covering, where you can practice in offline. And documentation, I have a lot of documentation. There is an OmniStudio provided documentation, oddly some 800 to 900 pages. In future, if you have any questions or if you stuck anywhere in OmniStudio, you can always refer the document. For every question, for every option, there is an answer for that in the documentation. And along with this, I'm giving you some take home guides. I will be giving you some trailhead links. I will be giving you some article links. I will be giving uh, some previous question papers of the this one certification also. So by this we will be completing our course. And let me show one link before taking the questions. See, I'm in trailhead right now. Okay, I'm opening. Let me go back. I'll come from starting. I'll open trailhead home page. Let me duplicate it. So in one tab, I'll open credentials certifications. So if you see here, if you are a developer, this is trailhead provided website. You can do these many certifications. And if you are consultant, you can do these many certification. Let's say under developer certifications, what we have. If you see here, OmniStudio developer certification is available. And similarly for the consultant, OmniStudio consultant certification is available. I'm opening the exam guide. The point I'm showing here because you'll understand, you can relate the course content with the certification also. See here, right now I'm in developer certification. I'm not going into detail how many marks, what is the pass percentage. I'm not going in detail. We will cover that in our course. If you see here, exam outline, 15% of the questions will be coming from flex cards, which we are covering. 20% of the questions were coming from Omni Script, which also we are covering. And similarly, integration procedures, similarly, data raptors, similarly, integrated troubleshooting and deployment. So while covering each and every component, so I will be showing this also individually. There is no separate module for this, but when I am trying to cover second module, I will be covering that topic for this module, and when I am covering third module, I am covering that topic for this module. So that is my way of approach, and I wanted to talk about this one, right? Let me go back to the sixth module, which is expression sets. Expression sets we will not use very vastly. Very rare we will use in our real-time projects, expression sets and decision matrix. Uh, since it is in certification with 8%, a minimal, I know it is very minimal marks, so hardly some 3 4 questions will come. Since it is in certification and you might be helping in projects, if your project is using expression sets and decision matrices, so that the reason I included this module is because of the certification only. So we will be seeing a high level overview of this module also. Expression sets, what is expression sets, what is decision matrix, we will see in our course. So this is the certification course for developer. And if you see, there is something called, this is OmniStudio consultant. For OmniStudio consultant also same course, no difference, flex cards, but the exam outline is little difference. Flex cards, Omni scripts, data tools. Data tools means integration procedures, data raptors, expression sets, same only. I will be covering that, no? And best fit solutioning. So in our, so for example, there is a requirement. What is the best solution you can give? So that kind of scenario based questions you will be getting. So anyhow, that will I will be covering in our exercises also. So by this, I completed my demo. Thank you for having time and joining here. So let's take any questions if you have. If you're not comfortable to ask, you can just paste it in the chat. Any questions so far?
So, hello.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, myself, Arjun. I started the session too late. Can you send me the recording so that I will
Yeah, yeah.
correct what is your covered?
Yeah, institute will be collaborating with you and they will be sending the recording. You can see the recording, and if you have little more questions, you can always reach out to them. They'll
Yes.
help me to contact me, and you can ask if you have any some personal questions, based on personal questions in the sense related to your project, that kind of questions. I will be happy to guide you.
So, as of my presence in the class, you explained not too good. So that is my observation. Yeah. Nice explanation. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, can you repeat? Your voice is a little breaking.
Yeah. Yeah, as of now, my presence in the class,
Okay.
virtual class. So your presentation is too good. So
Too good.
easily.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Thank you for the feedback. I'm always open to the feedback. And in your session, in the sessions also, if you observe I'm going little fast, if you observe I'm going little slow, you can always give some feedback. I'll work on my feedback and I'll deliver my content accordingly.
Sure.
Yeah,
Thank you.
hi.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Vizya. Uh,
Hi.
I learn only admin part. Is there any requirement to learn development or LWC? Means Apex
No,
or LWC?
no, not at all. I wanted to cover one more point here. There are many people who hates coding, okay, who don't know coding, who doesn't comfortable writing the code, who hates coding. So what they are doing is they are learning Omni Studio. As I said earlier, there are many companies who are hiring especially OmniStudio developers. You can go to some LinkedIn or any some job searching platforms. You can search it. You will be seeing a lot of jobs, especially OmniStudio developer. And to become OmniStudio developer, you need to have prerequisite a basic knowledge of Salesforce admin, not a high level knowledge. No need to know flows, no need to know process builders. Just basic knowledge is enough. And one more thing is you need to have prerequisite JSON structure, which is very easy. That anyhow I'll be covering here. So if you want to build your career on Omni Studio and at the same time you don't want to learn coding, don't look back. Just go ahead and learn it. Join as a developer in the Omni Studio.
Okay. Is there any project to teach us?
Is there any project? See, as I said, am a working professional. Actually, I am working with different projects in my previous past experience. So whatever the content I am showing, everything is project oriented. So the common errors I will be showing in the project oriented only in our day to day life. What errors we will be facing, how we will build components, what are the best practices. So every scenario is project oriented only, not created scenario. Every scenario is project oriented, I will be telling. And I'm very confident once you completed the session, uh, you can clear interview or certification with ease. That I can make sure. But what I am expecting is you need to practice. See, Omni Studio is very easy. No need to remember. Also, there is always some guiding. If I want to use some component, there is some I symbol, a tooltip we call, right? If you hover on that I symbol, so it will provide how to use that element. It will provide some information. So you just need to understand the configuration, data flow, how each element will work. So once you understand, it's very easy. You need to do practice, that's it.
Okay, thank you. How much duration it will take?
Yeah. So I think I missed it to say. Let me. Is my screen visible? No, right?
I
No.
Yeah, I just shared my screen. So duration, it will be 25. I think it's not. Yeah, 25 to 30 hours. But I believe since you are all are beginners, you don't have like much knowledge on JSON structure, some basics of CSS. I can make sure for this batch especially, I'll promise you to take 30 hours
okay.
course
Thank you.
content. 30 hours means, so it's only on from Monday to Friday. Saturday, Sunday will be no session. If whatever the students we are having in our batch, if they are comfortable on demand, I will be happy to taking the sessions on weekends also. The reason I'll tell you, with my past experience, so many of people will join this course when they have when they want to switch the company, or when they have a project in the Omni Studio. What they are expecting is they want to complete this course as soon as possible. So if you remove weekends, so if you cover the session, let's say daily 1 hour from Monday to Friday, it will be 45 days. So for those kind of people, uh, it's too late, no? I mean, not too late, but since they are working with the project, they need to complete the course as soon as possible. So that people will suggest sometimes, let's take session in weekends, let's have 2 hour sessions. So in that way also I'm comfortable. When everyone in the session are comfortable, I'm happy to take extended classes, I'm happy to take weekend sessions also, but primarily it's Monday to Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any
Uh,
questions?
Is
Hi,
it
Uttej.
providing recordings?
Sorry, recordings you are asking, Vijaya?
Yes, I'm asking recording first.
Yeah, you will be getting recordings. Institute will collaborate with you. They will be contacting you. You will get the recordings, which will be having lifetime access. You can always refer the recordings. And once the payment is done, or once we started the classes, uh, Institute will create a group where we will be having all people, and I will be also including in that. You will post some questions, and if you have any doubt, you can always ask me. So in the recording, so I will be easily available person.
Okay, thank you.
My target is to once you completed this course, you should become independent.
Yeah, sure.
Independent in the sense you can build your components uh, alone, and also there in many of the projects there are some existing components which are built already. So how to deal with existing components, how to add how to create our requirement in between these components without spoiling the existing requirement, that also I will be covering, since our course is project oriented. Go ahead. Someone is asking question. I stopped them. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi Uttej, this is Swapna,
Hi,
and
Swapna.
I joined late actually. And my question is like, I'm working as a developer, so I
Mhm.
just want to add on my environment with this like Velocity. So one thing is, I just want to know Velocity and OmniStudio both are same, or is it related to?
Okay. I covered this in starting of the session. I'll just give some intro. So when Velocity founded, the name is Velocity. So recently Salesforce acquired Velocity. 2020, Salesforce acquired Velocity, and after that, 1 year back, Salesforce renamed Velocity to OmniStudio. So when you say Velocity, when you say OmniStudio, both are same, no difference at all.
Oh, okay.
And you have experience in development, right? How much years of experience you will be having? You having?
I have a 7 years of experience.
And total industry experience?
It's both are same actually.
Both are same. Okay, nice.
Yes.
So many people who want to add some additional career path, you might know, you know better knowledge, you have better knowledge. So you might be seeing a lot of people are learning Omni Studio so that they can crack jobs easily, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Any questions?
I'm good now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can refer the recording.
Yes.
Institute will share you the recording in maybe WhatsApp or email, so you can refer the recording. And if you have any questions, you can contact them.
Sure, sure. Thank you.
Yeah, and one more thing is, uh, since I have covered the demo, but you don't know my teaching style, right? So what we
Right.
are planning is, we will be on 15th. You are seeing my screen, right? On 15th and 16th, free classes. So I will be covering Salesforce Vlocity, Salesforce Omnistudio, Salesforce Vlocity, Salesforce Omnistudio, Salesforce Vlocity.
Hello.
It's reconnected, I believe. I'm audible, right?
Now it is audible.
Okay. Okay. So, so 15th and 16th, we are providing the sessions. No need of payment. So if you have any doubt on my course content delivery, 15th and 16th, you can join freely. And from 17th, if you want to continue the course, you can pay.
So it's starting only, right, Uttej, or it's already started?
No, no, tomorrow it will start.
Oh, tomorrow it is going to start.
Yes, yes. And we
Oh,
always try to maintain a few people only, because if you have a lot of people, it's hard to communicate in the session, right? So if you have any doubts in between, you can ask, always unmute yourself, and you can always ask. So we'll be starting our session with minimum number of people only. So we'll be starting on 15th, which is tomorrow, which is 9 a.m. IST. So if you have any problems with these timings, we will see that you can contact the institute. So 9 p.m. IST is the planned timing right now. So 15th and 16th, I will be covering some introduction and data raptors. And from 17th, you can join the course when you have done payment only. So if you are already convinced with my demo, I recommend you to go ahead and do some payment, at least some sort of payment, so that your slot will be confirmed. So
okay.
from 17th, whoever has paid the amount, so far those people only have access for the recordings or joining the session. So I recommend you to pay some amount at least to confirm your slot. That's it. If you are convinced only. If you're not
Okay.
convinced, just wait for 2 days.
Okay. So how many are there for batch?
Less than 10 only.
Less than 10, right? So each 1 hour daily or
As I said, the primary consideration is 1 hour only. Uh, there are some people who want to complete the course very quickly so that they can work in the projects. If everyone is comfortable to extend the sessions, I will be happy to extend. I have time to extend maybe next half an hour or 1 hour on demand. And if everyone are comfortable in the session to have the sessions in weekends also, I will be happy to take the sessions. So if you take the sessions in weekends, so we can complete the course quickly. So that
okay,
depends upon the people who are joining. It's up to their wish.
sure, sure. Thank you.
Yeah,
Good morning, Uttej.
yeah.
Actually, this
Good
is
morning. Hi, Ravi.
actually one communication project is going to start in my company. They said to learn. I saw your course content.
Mm-hmm.
So to learn CPQ and CLS and order management orchestration plan. Those things actually it is not covering in this course.
I know that. I know that. Let me. Yes,
Is
I'm
it
not covering. Let me tell you something. That is the reason I have showed. What is this? Yeah, this one.
okay?
Mm.
Here,
Give me 1 minute. I'll give answer to your question. So as you know, you're seeing my screen, right?
yes, sir.
So as you know, there are many industries in the Salesforce. Industries in the sense, I can say communications, uh, health insurance, insurance. So each insurance, what OmniStudio is providing is each industry will have some additional components. Let's say in your communication, there is one or two additional components like order management or CPQ, and that will not be having in velocity or health cloud. So
Okay,
that whatever the content you are seeing, CPQ and other stuff, so that will be available only on communication org. If you are not working with, there are a lot of orgs, right?
yes,
For example, if you are placed in some energy and utilities, you will be not seeing them, right? And as per the Salesforce suggestion also, what they are saying is they always do OmniStudio course, and after that, see here, these technical skills are mostly industry specific. Once you completed the OmniStudio course, whatever the project you are going to, so based on that project, so one or two components might add uh, based on your industry. Okay, so there is not sure which industry you are going in, right? So
yes,
always we will stick to, there are some components like data raptors, integration procedures, Omni scripts, flex cards, which will be using in every industry, whichever the industry you are placing in. Every industry there are same components, and 99% of the times we will be using them only, except some odd cases like you.
okay,
That is the reason I have shown you the developer trailhead suggested developer course content. So here also you are not seeing CPQ, right? So because
correct.
that is based on the project itself. So once you understand the data flow between these components, you will understand that also. But I'm not covering in my course, because so every person in this project belongs to different projects. So someone who is working on other projects except communication, no need of knowing this one, right? uh,
Correct.
Order management. So that is where advanced kind of stuff I can say, but I'm not covering that session. That is not at all needed unless you have some specific requirement in your organization.
Okay, okay, fine.
Yeah.
And you use some board like out of the box. What is that actually?
Out of the box functionalities means, I'll tell you, you have development knowledge.
Yes,
uh, how to put it, let's say I want to build a screen. So there are two ways to build a screen. What is one is with the flows, right? You know flows.
yes,
So with the flows, I can build the screen. And there is another way which I can use some LWC code and build the screen by writing some HTML and JavaScript, right? So what always HTML, LWC component is a custom code which we are writing. So, but there is always Salesforce provided tool which is flows.
Okay.
So Salesforce provided tools are out of the box functionalities. So similarly in OmniStudio there are out of the box functionalities like data raptors, flex cards, where you can avoid coding. Understood? Always prefer to use Salesforce pre-built tools to build any logic or any application.
Okay, fine. Thank you. I'm good.
Yeah. Any questions?
Yeah, okay, thank you.
If you don't have any questions, we can wrap it up. Otherwise, I'll take the questions. I see one question is pasted in the chat. Let's. Okay. For each class, how many hours you will take? Okay, as I said, 1 hour only. But sometimes, for example, I started flex card topic. I'm configuring a card, so it might take sometimes. I cannot complete that configuration in 1 hour. So at that times, hardly sometimes it will extend, maybe some 15 minutes or 20 minutes. So make sure after 1 hour you will be free for 15 minutes, 20 minutes. In some cases, it will extend because in each session I want to complete one particular topic or one particular project scenario. So sometimes it will extend, but mostly it is 1 hour per day. On demand, I can extend it on demand by the people who are joining the course. Okay, I'll consider it as no questions. So contact Training Institute for any further details or the fee structure for, or if you want to ask any some more questions to me, if you're not comfortable asking here, contact the Training Institute. They will be helping you always, and try to join tomorrow's session and day after tomorrow's session and take the decision. Happy learning. Bye all. See you in tomorrow's session, everyone. Thank you.